Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Soumya. In this video, we will continue with the concept photosynthetic pigments. Yes, in the previous video, we were discussing about the photosynthetic pigments, and the photosynthetic pigments are those pigments which are absorbing the sunlight, which is needed for the photosynthesis. Mainly three types of photosynthetic pigments, that is chlorophyll, carotenoids, and phycobilins. Even the fourth one, flavonoids, are also there. Which I have not mentioned, but these three are very important here. And I have completed the chlorophyll, that is first type. So if you didn't watch that video, you can watch that video. I have given the link in the description box. Thank you. Next, we will continue with the carotenoids now. Carotenoids are tetraterpenes and linear polyenes. Okay, and these carotenoids have classified into again two types, that is carotenes and xanthophyls. And again, these keratins are of different types, like alpha keratin, beta keratin, and lycopene. So beta keratin, it is the one which is most abundant carotenoid in keratins. Okay, question they may ask, most abundant carotenoid is beta keratin. Okay, in keratins. Okay, and lycopene, actually which gives the red color of the ripe tomato. And keratin formula is here C40H56. And xanthophyls here again of different types. Again, there are three types, that is lutein, viloxanthin, and fucoxanthin. The lutein is the most abundant carotenoid of these xanthophyls type. And here the formula for the xanthophyll is C40H56O2. Okay, which is oxygenic. When you see, compare with this, here there is no oxygen here oxygen is present here, this way it is oxygenic here. And now the lutein, it is the most abundant xanthophyll. And second one, viloxanthin acts as a precursor for ABA, that is abscisic acid, and it also acts as a precursor of zeaxanthin. And actually this precursor of abscisic acid is viloxanthin, and the synthesis of this abscisic acid is from the beta carotene. Okay, that is the point you have to remember. Next, third one, fucoxanthin. Fucoxanthin, it is gives the brown color. You can see the brown color of the brown algae. Okay, that called as fucoxanthin. Now coming to the functions of the carotenoids. Carotenoids absorbs radiant energy and transfers the absorbed energy to chlorophylls by a mechanism called as resonance energy transfer. Okay, or it is also called as EET, that is electron energy transfer. What happens, the main function of the carotenoids here is that these are going to absorb the radiant energy, means these are the ones which are going to absorb the sunlight, and they are going to transfer this absorbed energy to the chlorophyll by a mechanism of resonance energy transfer. What is this resonance energy transfer? Resonance energy transfer means here the higher energy is absorbed by these carotenoids, that higher energy is transferred to the another molecule, means from higher energy level to the lower energy level. The higher energy molecule is giving its electron and protons to the lower atom or lower molecule. Okay, that is called as resonance energy transfer. So that is the thing the carotenoid is doing here. It is going to absorb the sunlight and it is giving it to chlorophyll, so that it will and this chlorophyll helps in the photosynthesis, right? So that's how the process is going to take place. Next, moving on to the next one, carotenoids protect chlorophyll from photo bleaching or photo destruction, that is solarization. So the main function of the carotenoids is to protect the chlorophyll, because chlorophyll is the chlorophyll is the site of photosynthesis, right? So carotenoids are going to protect these chlorophylls, so that it is going to protect that plant from photo bleaching or photo destruction. If there is a excess in intensity of sunlight, the plants are unable to do the photosynthesis. Actually that will lead to a condition called as photoinhibition. Photoinhibition means there is a reduction in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, but here these carotenoids helps as a photoprotector, because it is going to protect the chlorophyll from undergoing a photo destruction or photo bleaching, or you can say photoinhibition. Next, moving on to the next point, let us look at how this photo bleaching is going to take place here. The photo bleaching takes place when there is a high light intensity. So if I think this is the plant, and if this plant gets a high intensity of sunlight, observes a high intensity of sunlight, so then what happens, the chlorophyll is going to absorb the excess energy. Okay, and that will lead to a high energy triplet state. Okay, and this high energy triplet state interacts with oxygen and leads to a production of ROS, that is reactive oxygen species. So, and these reactive oxygen species are dangerous. These actually damages the thylakoid membranes, so that if the thylakoid membranes is damaged, means that is the where photosynthesis is going to take place, right? So that photosynthesis efficiency get decreased. So that leads to a photoinhibition. Photoinhibition means, photo means light, inhibition means reduced or reduction in the photosynthesis. Okay, so this is called as photoinhibition. This is how the photoinhibition is going to occur. But carotenoids are block the photoinhibition process, or they are going to suppress this photoinhibition process. How? By giving a photoprotection. This how? Because just now I explained in the second function, like carotenoids protects the chlorophyll from photo bleaching or photo destruction, like they gives the photo protection. Next point, carotenoids and alpha tocopherol interacts with the triplet chlorophyll, absorbs the excess energy and convert into a safety state to show thermal dissipation using in the form of heat. Carotenoids and along with the alpha tocopherols, these are going to interact with this triplet state of the chlorophyll, and by here they are going to absorb the excess of energy. Okay, so then they are going to transfer that energy to a safety state known as the thermal dissipation. Dissipation means declining, we can say. Okay, so they are going to reduce that excessive sunlight. Okay, so that if the excessive sunlight is reduced, then this triplet state is not activated, then oxygen is not going to react with ROS, then ROS is never going to damage the thylakoid membrane, then there is an increase in the photosynthesis efficiency, then there is no photoinhibition. The normal photosynthesis process is going to occur in the plants. Carotenoids and alpha tocopherols thus prevents the production of ROS, and carotenoids and alpha tocopherols acts as scavengers of ROS. Okay, they act as a scavenger of ROS. Thus, carotenoids and alpha tocopherol prevents the photoinhibition. That's just now that I have explained. This mechanism of photoprotection and preventing photoinhibition by carotenoids is called as non-photochemical quenching. So just now what I have explained all these things. So this mechanism by these carotenoids and alpha tocopherol, that is photoprotection and photoinhibition by carotenoids, this mechanism is called as non-photochemical quenching. Okay, and moving on to the next important point, zeaxanthin. This zeaxanthin is a major carotenoid involved in the non-photochemical quenching. This is the important point. They may ask which is the major carotenoid which involved in the non-photochemical quenching is zeaxanthin. Next point, it is synthesized in high light intensity by a process called as xanthophyll cycle. So how this zeaxanthin is synthesized? So when there is excess sunlight is absorbed by the plant, that time this zeaxanthin is synthesized by a process called as xanthophyll cycle. Next, moving on to the next point, if carotenoid biosynthesis is blocked by a mutation or inhibition, then plants exposed to high light intensity undergoes photoinhibition. Obviously, right? Just now I am explaining all those things. So, there is because of presence of carotenoids, the chlorophylls are not going to get damaged by exposing to the high light intensity. But if this carotenoid is absent, just think if this carotenoid is absent, then this carotenoid is not going to protect the chlorophyll. Then chlorophyll is going to will be going for the triplet state, and after going to triplet state, oxygen is going to react with reactive oxygen species, and this reactive oxygen species going to damage the thylakoid membrane. Then photosynthesis is not going to occur. That is actually leads to a photoinhibition. That's what it is saying here. Next, if alpha tocopherol synthesis is inhibited by a herbicide called as pyrozolinate, then photoinhibition occurs. Again, obviously, if these are whatever it may be, if carotenoid or alpha tocopherol, if there is any one of these is get inhibited or blocked, if these are not present or if these are not synthesized in the plant, then there is then it leads to a photoinhibition. And you have to remember this herbicide here, that is pyrozolinate. Okay, that's about the carotenoids. Now we will move on to the third one, phycobilins. These phycobilins are only water soluble pigments. So in case of pigments, if they ask which is the water soluble pigment, the phycobilins are the water soluble pigments, and these are similar to other bilins such as bilirubin and photoreceptor phytochrome. And this consists of open and linear tetrapyrrole. And these phycobilins are present in cyanobacteria, rhodophytae, glaucophytes and cryptomonads. Okay, and coming to the types of phycobilins, here there are a few types of phycobilins are present. Majorly 4 types of phycobilins are present. First one, phycoerythrobilin. Second one, phycocyanobillin, which is also called as phycobiliveridin. And then it is third one, phycourobilin. Fourth one, phycoviolobilin. Okay, these are the 4 types you have to remember. Next, phycobilins are associated with proteins called as phycobilin proteins, and all these pigments form a light harvesting compound called phycobilisome. So this, in higher plants, the pigments found are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and carotenoids. When you take the in higher plants, the pigments, phycobilins are usually not present. In higher plants, the pigments found are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and carotenoids. And all pigments including chlorophyll A, B, and carotenoids, okay, and phycobilins in some organisms like cyanobacteria and algae absorbs the radiant energy and transfer this energy to a pair of special chlorophyll molecule called reaction center by RET, that is resonance energy transfer. So all these pigments, what is the function of all these pigments? That is whatever it may be, like a chlorophyll A or chlorophyll B or chlorophyll or carotenoids or phycobilins, all these are going to absorb the radiant energy, that is sunlight, and transferring this energy to a special molecule that is called as a reaction center by resonance energy transfer. That's about the phycobilins. That's about the photosynthetic pigments. In the next video, we will discuss another topic. I'm hoping this video is helpful. And thanks for watching. Please do share and subscribe.